You may have heard the saying, your perspective equals your reality. Well, your frequency equals your perspective. Welcome to MindBody TV. I'm Dr. Kim Duramo. I'm so excited to have you here, and I'm going to share why your vibrational frequency is actually creating everything you experience, whether it's your health, your money, the people in your life, whether life is hard for you or things go smoothly, and how you can increase your frequency to radically change what's happening in your experience. I'd love to hear from you and where you're tuning in from in the world. So whether you're listening live or to the recording, share where you are tuning in from. We have an amazing, enthusiastically engaged multinational audience, and it really lights me up to connect with you. So for those of you who don't know me, I am a physician who really stepped out of the medical field and is using mind-body medicine to help people connect with their intuition and their body's ability to heal itself so they can resolve disease for good. I have really been on a mission to bring real medicine to the world because it exists within us. We have to start here. And one of the things that's happening is we're battling the outer. We're battling our body, overweight, disease, battling the bugs, battling pain even. We're battling even people around us. Like, I'm not going to let them get me down, or battling our circumstances. And guess what happens? The more you fight, the more you become inflamed and weakened, and you're actually not creating what you want. You got to get out of fight and into harmony within in order to really allow the highest manifestation for your health, physically, mentally, emotionally, and for every aspect of your life. So what I'm going to talk about today is how your frequency, your vibrational frequency, dictates your life, your reality, everything in your experience. And that might seem like a big, bold claim, but here's how we're going to break it down. And if you missed last week's broadcast about the map of consciousness and how our vibration is based on, what our frequency, our actual measurable electromagnetic frequency, is determined by our thoughts, our beliefs, our emotions, and that is the biggest determining factor in our health. You want to go back and watch that video because it's the basis for where we're going to go with this today. So we talked about, and I'm going to share it here, the map of consciousness. So this is Dr. David Hawkins' work. I'm going to put a page behind it so it helps us out a little, who had a huge body of work sharing about quantitative information on your vibration. Like, we can detect this, and we now have technological machines that can reliably detect what is your frequency up to 8 to 10 feet away from your body. So when we're in these lower vibrations, guilt, shame, fear, and we're suppressing our emotions, there's a lot, like, the energy can't really move. It's moving at a lower vibe. So you're always carrying energy. Energy is always moving, whether it's at a high vibe of freedom, joy, ease, flow, or it's at a low vibe of fear, anger, shame, and guilt. That's going to determine how you feel. And your thoughts and your beliefs are actually what keep this in place and can keep you from being in a higher vibe and letting in joy. So as a doctor, it's really important to me to understand, like, how does that affect your physiology? How does that affect your brain function? How does that affect your nervous system and your immune system? And there is so much science, you guys, to show directly that this immediately lowers your health. And yes, over time, chronic disease, chronic pain, aging, deterioration, inflammation, like everything we know underlies most things people are dying from. But even in the short term, you just feel bad, right? You want to feel light and joyful and free. And hey, let's get to this higher vibe. But I want to explain how to begin to wake up where you are and know, where am I on the scale, and begin to detect that, feel that, notice that, because that is the most essential part to letting it change. If you haven't already purchased my new book, Be Your Own Healer, you'll want to do that because it explains all the science, the metaphysics, the really kind of like the that whole foundation for this body of work, and gives you really powerful tools to work with this. And guess what? It's easy. It's not complex. It's not going to take you decades and decades of study like I've had. You can read this book and it will work on your system right now as you read, because your body already knows how to heal every disease known to man. Okay, so when we're in these lower frequencies, it's going to affect everything we think, right? When we're in that frequency of shame, oh God, I shouldn't have done this, or I can't believe, or oh, what was I thinking? Those are the thoughts going through our mind. When we're in fear, it's like, okay, I'll just do the right thing. It's okay. I'll just do what everyone else says. I'll be fine. We're not really allowing our own system to think for ourselves and to choose consciously according to what we want and what's in our highest. So we're in an autopilot program of what am I supposed to do? And we can't even feel, we don't even know what we truly want. When we're in fear, shame, anger, right? Our system is so suppressed, it's actively causing inflammation. So it's affecting the way we think, even the way we hear something someone else says. So if you're in a relationship, or I mean, who's not in a relationship with a human on some level, there's going to be humans in your life. You're going to get triggered. So maybe they say that exactly thing that you're like, oh, it really gets your goat. And so you clamp down. That's a physiologic response because your body is responding to that vibrational frequency you're receiving them from. Meaning, if you were in a higher vibe and they said that exactly same thing that they always say, you could let it roll off. It wouldn't have a physiologic effect. It wouldn't bring you down. It wouldn't even have you have an emotional trigger because you wouldn't be in a vibration where that could affect you. So it's not about like cutting all these bad people out of my life, sequestering yourself off and getting away to finally get a break. Let's shift the vibration you're in so you begin to perceive things differently. So I want to hear, how does this resonate? How does this land? Have you heard that expression? Your perception equals your reality. I know my sister had it on her, like her closing on her email, her signature for years and years and years. And I always wondered, like, does she really get how profound that is? It's true for all of us. And this is where we can generate the most change. So what we think, and how we perceive the world outside of us is 100% determined by our vibe. For example, if you're sick and you've tried everything and you haven't gotten better, you know, I've had so many people come when I was a physician in practice to my office and say, nothing ever works for me, or it's hopeless, I'll never get better, or I have fill in the blank, right? Like I own this, this is my state, I have fibromyalgia, or I have MS, or they would be in a relationship with it like it had power over them. And so I would always look at what is this person's perspective and how can we help unwind it, because the way you talk about your problem, the way you view and perceive your problem can actually keep that problem in place. And so what are you, how are you in relationship with the greatest challenge coming up in your life? What are your thoughts about it? How do you talk about it? How do you experience it? Because when you own it, when you believe it's more powerful than you, when you think this is going to be progressive and there's nothing I can do, it actually shows up as true because your system creates it that way, because you are a creator. You are constantly creating in every moment. And so if you look at like your MPI, your most pressing issue, whether it's like something happening with your kid or in your money, I want you to think about that right now and notice what happens when you look toward that issue. You think about it. Maybe it's about looking at your bank account or your lab work, or thinking about, I got to go to the doctor. What comes up in your body right now? That's going to give you a big cue in to where you are vibing. Are you in a high vibe? Are you in a low vibe? One of the most powerful things we can do is to begin to see, okay, this is what it is now, and ask what else is possible. It's a good little shift in vibration. You can't actually get to a higher vibe. You can only shift from the one you're in. You can only be where you are with greater embodiment, with greater willingness to welcome the feelings, the emotions, the thoughts, the sensations that are here now. And so I want you to think, like, what comes up when you look toward that issue? What do you feel in your body? Is there a thought, oh God, no, and there's like dread? Is there a feeling or an emotion? Sometimes you might have like a pit in your stomach, pressure on your shoulders, a heaviness in your chest, even a headache. If you think about it long enough. I want you to just notice that, because this is going to tell you a lot about your vibe, about the frequency you're in, about the consciousness you're in, going back to Dr. Hawkins' map of consciousness. Again, last week's video, I went into great detail with this, but I wanted to this week kind of like help you wake up from the map out, become aware of where you are. And it's all about noticing, right? It's ABC, like I always teach in the instant elevation. You have to begin to awaken from where you are. You cannot get to a higher place, a better situation. You have to start from where you are. So you want to see this and realize, like, okay, this has everything to do with my vibration, right? I'm looking at my money. Oh, how are things going to work out? Or there's not enough, right? It's just a number on a screen. It's very unlikely going to be bills sitting in a wallet, but for some people, that's where they keep their money. That's there too. And you think it's not enough, or what am I going to do? Or, oh God, nothing works for me. That's your vibe. So there's what's happening, and then there's my thoughts about it. There's what's happening, and then there's my story. And notice that the second part always changes, right? It's conditional. What's happening, really, like, you're not going to change that. There's what's happening. There's a number on a screen. Then there's, the feelings I have about that. Or there's this thing she said to me, and then, I'm so pissed, or I can't believe, and all the emotions that brought up. So these are two very different things. And when you distinguish them, you have the key to allowing a major shift in your frequency. So what I want to share today is, like, when we're in these lower vibes, everything is going to look like caca. And it won't matter what you do, right? Because until you shift your vibe, nothing's really going to change. You might like, okay, pulled it off and move the parts around. But the fear is still there. And the threat is still there. And it's just a matter of time until it comes up again. Versus a true shift in vibration will actually shift the material circumstances of your life. So here's what I do. I notice, whoa, everything looks like a shit show right now, and I'm not buying it. It just looks like everything is a mess, and it feels like everything is a mess, and even my thoughts might be like, it's a freaking mess, saying you'll never get out of it, right? So what's happening, how I feel about it, and what I think. Those are three distinct things going on in every moment. And can I call it out? I call it catching the fly with the chopsticks, where you all of a sudden, like, wait, here's the little nugget. It's not about my money. It's not about my friend. It's not about my body or my diagnosis. It's about this little nugget that says, I can never get there. I can never have it. I'm doomed. I'm hopeless. I'm not good enough. Now, you might not hear that thought. It's okay. You might just be aware of a heavy feeling or a dreadful feeling or an overwhelm. Like, maybe you're very familiar with the emotion of overwhelm. Okay, start there. Here I am in this overwhelm. Hi, overwhelm. Hi to the frequency I'm in. Welcome. There's a really powerful exercise in Be Your Own Healer. If you get the book, it's also in the audiobook that guides you through this in a deeper way. And I'm also having a live call for people who buy 3 or more copies of Be Your Own Healer, that you'll join me live and I will guide you through this. We will do the activation in the call right there on November 12th. So I'll include the details for that here. When you buy 3 or more copies, it's a great gift for anyone you love, because it's digestible, it's conversational. It's me just sharing this with you, as opposed to like some medical jargon or like quantum physics jargon, like quantum physics simplified, because anyone can understand this. It's just the mechanics of your body and having a little clue as to how energy works and how your thoughts are affecting your physical. So next time you notice you're super triggered, or like having a quote unquote bad day, or everything's going wrong, or I'm so annoyed, take a pause, take a breath, soften your body. and you can begin to awaken within the moment, whatever frequency you're at. You do not need to increase your frequency. You simply need to show up 2% more present to the one you are currently in. That's it. That's what frickin' shifts reality. That's what changes your physiology, your hormones, your cells, your brain function. That's what changes your money, your work, your everything to do with your finances, right? Your perception actually has an effect on your frequency, and your frequency has an effect on your money. We can get a little more into that. Changes your relationships. Guess what? The person you're in a relationship with is also in a body that is energy sensitive, that is electromagnetic. They will feel you. So you want to radically shift your relationships, just 2% shift your own vibe, right? Like, I'm so triggered by you, I can't even stand it. And I'm just going to let myself feel that, notice that, and experience that. Because having the vibe you're in and resisting it versus having the vibe you're in and embracing it are a world apart. That is a quantum leap. And so next time you notice, wherever you are, and you can, I kind of do it in the book, I bring you through like a 1 to 10. 10 is like, woo, freaking who? I'm clear. I'm in joy. Things are going well, right? And you'll see if you look toward any aspect of your life, you're like, it's all going to be okay. No matter what's actually happening, it's all going to be okay. And or if you're in a lower vibe, like maybe anger, and you're irritated, what does everything look like to you when you observe it? It's going to look pretty cucky. It's going to look pretty annoying. It's going to look pretty frustrating. Or in an even lower vibe, fear, anger, guilt, shame. This is when everything just looks like total crap. Like, there's no way. I don't even want to think about it. So maybe we go to like addiction and just distract ourselves from it so we don't have to participate with it. You don't need to do that. You can allow the energy to move because your true nature is one of joy. And guess what? The frequency of joy does to the body. Healing, right? Disease cannot live in a body that's vibrating in the frequency of joy. It's not possible. This has been scientifically shown. But you can just bring 2% more joy. Maybe you're really struggling. Maybe you're really suffering. Maybe you look at the landscape of your life and you're like, no effing way. And what you observe is really just like exponentializing that frequency and like getting you down even more. So you got to erase the chalkboard, go within, start within, connect to the feelings, the emotions, the sensations. Your physical body will bring you home. So start there, soften your body and breathe. You've already allowed a 2% shift. And you just keep allowing a little more, a little more, a little more. And you'll start to see, wait a minute, what if? And then a new thought comes in, a thought you didn't have access to before. Or, hey, what if I just, and you take an action, and then major things happen. So it's not like I just sit around in a happy vibe and good stuff happens. I'm in a high vibe and I am what's happening. You're never not in motion. Emotion is energy in motion. You are always in motion. You are pure energy. Are you moving in a lighter, higher frequency, or are you moving in a lower, denser frequency? And are you making it wrong if that's the case? So what if you stop making it wrong? Just notice, welcome what you're feeling, and allow that to unwind. Your body already knows how to heal. Do this referent to any situation you're dealing with right now and see what happens. If you're, for bonus points, practicing with the Be Your Own Healer book, I want to hear how that exercise is going. There's a really powerful exercise I bring you. First, it's a very, very simple way, and there's a quick little audio that you use in the book. And then you kind of practice that every day. It's a quick little few seconds, several times a day. And then it brings you deeper, just adding a little layer to it each time throughout the whole book. Where are you with the book? Where are you with that exercise? And what are you noticing? What are you noticing in your body and how you feel? What are you noticing in your life circumstance and what's happening? And what are you noticing in your thoughts? Like, do you start to have a little more lightness of like, whoa, I didn't realize, but what if I just do this? Or, oh my gosh, it's true. I really am powerful and everything is okay. You're not going to access those higher frequency thoughts when you're in a lower vibe. So don't require that. Just notice where you are, use the tools. You're going to love them. And for those of you who buy 3 or more copies of Be Your Own Healer, you're invited to join me for the live activation call next week, where we will do this work together in your body. I have the ability to feel into the whole collective of everyone on the call, even if you're listening to the recording in a different space-time continuum. It's okay. I will include you. We will be working on your system and on what is coming up for everyone who is coming for that call. So we move the nugget. We move the mountain. You are ready. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for those who have bought the book and already started reading. Please join us in the MindBody community in Facebook. Our coaches are standing by to assist you and to answer your questions. I will be here. We'll be broadcasting live every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time on my YouTube channel, Dr. Kim Duramo. Be sure to subscribe so you know when we come in, and be sure to please like this video because more people will find this work. So if this inspires you, comment, like, and share. And we'll also be, that broadcast will be live in the MindBody community in Facebook. So stay tuned for more. I'm at drkimd.com. That's where you can find my new book, the second book, Be Your Own Healer. I'm so excited to be enthusiastically supporting you and assisting with this journey. Lots of love, and I'll see you soon. Thank you for tuning in to MindBody TV. I would love to hear from you. Post a comment with any question, insight, aha, or just to say hello. Make sure you subscribe. Hit that subscribe button so you stay tuned for weekly episodes. I'll see you next week.